It's your girl, she 100, and I'm back to keep it 100 with you about me and any other little things. So today's story time is gonna be when I found out I was pregnant at 19 with my beautiful, now 6-year-old daughter. This story is a mixture of, let's be honest, I was scared. Then at some point it became excitement and then scared again. It was a roller coaster. So let's not take too much time and let's get into it. So first things first, Shyla's dad is definitely 6 years older than me. I had met him online when I was in high school, and I had like a lot of things going on at the time. My grandfather had just passed away, and he was a really nice guy. So then, things happened and I had actually missed my shot. Yes, I missed my shot, and that is no joke, ladies. Be on time with your birth control if you're gonna get an injection. And so pretty much I knew the night that it happened. I was just like, oh man, but I was also kind of in like disbelief. I was like, oh, I just missed one shot. So after that, I was hanging out with one of my friends from high school, and we were chilling in the parking lot of Victory Park. And, we were just talking, catching up, because we hadn't seen each other in a while. And she was asking about my love life. And, I had told her what had happened with Shyla's dad. And she was like, well, have you had your period since then? And I was like, no, but I'm only a few days late. But she was like, you should be, responsible and figure out what's going on. And I was just like, nah, girl, I'm fine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool. I know I'm cool. I'm fine. I can't be pregnant. Me? No. Shaquila? No, I can't be pregnant. So homegirl was like, listen, you got to be mature. If you see me looking down, looking at my notes, because this was 6 years ago. And so she was like, you should just do the responsible thing and go get a test. And I was like, all right, fine. So we went to Vaughn's over there in Colorado, and homegirl was like, all right, let's go get a test. So I went, and I was like, okay, can we take it at your house? And she was like, no, like, if my parents see that, they're gonna assume it is me. And her family was Mormon, so that was a no-no. And so we ended up just taking the test at the Vaughn store. And so I'm sitting there on the toilet, and, TMI, peed on the stick. And I'm waiting, and she was like, you're supposed to wait 3 minutes. That's what the box say. Wait 3 minutes. And I was like, okay. And instead of putting it down, like how some of the videos be, I'm just sitting there and I kid you not, it was less than 3 minutes. And that line, both lines just showed up. It was almost instant. So I'm just in the stall, I'm freaking out, and homegirl is like, so what does it say? What does it say? And I'm like, girl, it's the cross of Jesus. She was like, oh, you're good, we're good, whoa, you safe. And I was like, no, girl, the cross of Jesus is positive. And she was like, and we're just silent. So at this point, I'm trying to gather my things, and she's like, no, just take another test. And so I take the test. Once again, before the 3 minutes are even up, it pops up. So I decide to take the other one, and I look down, and it pops up before the 3 minutes. So at this point, now we're in her car. We left from Vaughn's, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm bawling, and I'm just sitting there just I'm a Pisces, so I'm dramatic, and I mean, that is a big thing, but I was just like, I'm gonna be homeless. My family ain't gonna love me. What am I gonna do? And Shyla's dad lived with, you know, his family. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to go live with you. And I'm gonna have to. And then I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have this baby. I was freaking out. Like, the idea of abortion was just like always been a no for me. But in that moment, I was just so afraid of what my family was gonna think. But the biggest person whose opinion mattered the most was my grandmother. I am a grandma's girl 100% of the way, and I had moved out from living with my mother and then to live with my grandmother due to living circumstances over there, which is another story time. And so I was living with my grandmother, and I was just like, man, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So then after that, it was just like, okay, so now I have to tell Shyla's father, and I'm just like, I don't know how he's gonna react. So I give him a call, and I'm just like, yo, you know, we gotta talk. And he was like, about what? And I was like, you know, I don't know if I should tell you this over the phone or if we should just meet in person. And he was like, do you think it's a conversation that we need to have in person? And I was like, yeah. And her dad, he lived in LA. So I was just like, all right, bet, I'm on my way. So I had brought the test with me, and I pulled up on him. And I was just like, listen, I took 2 tests. I'm pretty sure I made an appointment with Planned Parenthood to, you know, make sure it's like blood work for sure thing. But I had told him how the test had popped up before the time was even done. And they were clear blue. They were not the little 99-cent store ones. And so he was super excited. And I'm not going to hold you inside. I was just like, I'm only 19. Like, I don't know how to raise a child. And so he was just super excited. I had told him, like, you know, just hold off on telling your family. Let me figure out, like, how I'm going to even tell mine. And so, I don't know. Anybody that's ever found out they were pregnant, let me know in the comments if your partner was able to contain it or if they went ahead and slipped and told him, because he definitely did. I had no time. And so finally, I had found out from Planned Parenthood that I was 4 weeks. I was 4 weeks pregnant. And I don't know, it just really hit me when they confirmed it. And I went and bought prenatals. So I already knew in my mind, it was just like, nah, this is my baby and I'm keeping it. Her, it, him, whatever it was gonna be, I knew I was gonna keep it. So then 5 weeks pregnant, 6 weeks pregnant, and I'm like, okay, I'm throwing up, not feeling well. I have to tell my grandmother first, because I was living under her roof. And if any of y'all have like old school grandparents, you know, if you living under their roof, it's their rules. So I was like, I have to tell her. So then, you know, I had my paperwork from Planned Parenthood. My hands were, even talking about it, look at that, sweaty. My hands were dripping. I was sitting there like hyperventilating, and I was like, Nani, you know, I need to talk with you, and and I'm sitting there just like, I feel like I can't even act it out how like shooketh I was that I was gonna have to have this conversation with my grandmother. I was sweating, I was crying, I was just all of it. So my grandma looking at me, and she just kind of like, and then confusion turned into concern. And she was just like, because she saw the paper in my hand, and she was just like, are you dying? Are you dying? Oh God, such a... And so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, no, I'm not dying. She was like, well, hell, you pregnant? And I just stopped. And I was like, yeah. And I handed her the paper, and she's looking, and she was like, 4 weeks. And I was like, I'm actually 6 now. And she was like, what hell? Shit, accidents happen. Oh, Lord. When I tell you that the weight on my shoulders had literally just lifted because her opinion was the only ones that mattered. One, like I said, grandma girl. Two, I was under her roof. So that was the only opinion that mattered. So then, after I told her that, she was like, yeah, stop all that snotting and crying, girl. Hell, you didn't sit there and did grown folks. So, now you got grown folk responsibility. She was like, say goodbye to school and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was just like, why I have to say goodbye to school? You got responsibilities now. And she's very old school, like I said. But I will say that remark she made is what pushed me the most to get as far as I have in school, because I had to prove her wrong. I love my grandmother, I do, but I had to prove her wrong. Just saying. So then she's like, all right, well, you got to tell your mom. Me and my mom do not have the best relationship. That's another story time. I know I stay saying that, but we do not have the best relationship. I personally did not plan on telling her anytime soon. She didn't really cross my mind at all. So I give her a call. I told her over the phone. I wasn't going to tell her in person. And I was just like, hey, Mom, da 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 da. And she was like, I think this man just fell off his bike. Damn, that sucks. Okay, back to the story. Sorry. So, yes. So then I had called her and I was like, hey, Mom, how would you feel about being a grandmother? To this day, I'm like, why did I decide to tell her like this? I don't know, but I did. And she was like, Bambi pregnant again? Bambi is my dog. Rest in peace, my baby. And I was like, no. I was like, me. And she said, I know you mother lying. I'm too young to be a grandma. I know you. Who the daddy? Who the damn daddy? And I was like, remember so and so? Like, you guys talked over the phone and da-da-da. She's like, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? That older one? That older one? I'm calling the police. That's rape. You not. She said, I'm calling the police. He's 6 years older than you. Da, 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 da. He know better. My mom don't play. She's her own woman. Like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And she was just like, you're not having it. You're gonna have enough. And da 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 da. What is so and so gonna think? Who is so and so gonna think? And da 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 da. She was talking about everybody else's opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. I was worried about what my family was gonna think. Like, it needs it, family, but not to anybody else. I didn't care. They didn't pay my bills. They didn't do none of it. And so, I had to break it to her. And, now she loves my daughter. Loves my daughter. After my mother had that reaction, eventually she got on board and she had started doing some research and had actually found, resource alert, she had found a pregnancy group for Black women, and it was called Black Infant Health. This group, honestly, I don't think I would have made it through my pregnancy without them. And I say this because I was 19, had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea who to talk to because none of my friends had kids, and still 6 years later. And so I was just like, what am I gonna do? So, like I said, my mom had found the pregnancy group, and they were so helpful. Not only did they feed us, which is pregnant woman 101, feed us, they had gave us other resources, like we could go to trainings for how to properly strap in a car seat, and how to strap your children in safely. If you needed a car seat, there were different drives that they would have. down to like a lactation specialist. And then the best part about the program too was, you know, we had real conversations, like sexually how you were feeling being pregnant, and it was an option, you know, during pregnancy, and just like, you know, talk about SIDS and what was supposed to be in the crib. Just ultimate resources, so many resources. After you had your baby, they had a postpartum part of the program, which I thought was really amazing, because not only did a lot of us need guidance for, you know, what was going on inside of us and learning how to prepare, but also after having them, because postpartum is a thing. And they just gave us those, you know, support that we needed, whether we needed someone to talk to, whether, you know, maybe some of the mothers had lost their homes, or maybe their partners weren't as supportive. And then you had just overall, just, it was a great support group. So once again, Black Infant Health. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl She100, and thank you for watching another one of my videos.